Did Aurangzeb, the sixth Mughal emperor, really destroy thousands of Hindu temples during his reign? This is a question that has long stirred controversy and debate among historians and scholars. Aurangzeb, who ruled the vast Mughal empire from 1658 to 1707, is often painted as a villainous figure in history, particularly for his supposed destruction of numerous Hindu temples. Yet, there's another narrative that suggests Aurangzeb wasn't entirely the temple destroyer he's often made out to be. Some argue that he also rebuilt temples, an assertion that has sparked its own share of controversy. So, was Aurangzeb the ruthless destroyer of places of worship? Or was he a more complex figure, one who destroyed but also rebuilt? The answer isn't as clear-cut as you might think. This is the Enigma of Aurangzeb, a ruler whose actions continue to be a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Let's delve into history and uncover the truth behind this enigmatic emperor's actions. Aurangzeb's reign, from 1658 to 1707, was a period marked by religious tension and conflict. This was a time when the ruling Mughal emperor's religious policies began to stir the proverbial pot, creating a bubbling tension between Hindus and Muslims. Aurangzeb, a staunch Sunni Muslim, enacted policies that were seen as oppressive and discriminatory by the Hindu majority. One such policy was the implementation of the jizya tax, a tax levied on non-Muslims. This was a significant departure from the religious tolerance demonstrated by his predecessors, and it served to exacerbate the existing religious discord. Furthermore, a series of events pointed towards Aurangzeb's intolerance for Hinduism. These included the outlawing of Hindu festivals and public gatherings, the conversion of Hindu temples into mosques, and the execution of those who opposed his religious policies. These actions set the stage for the widespread belief that Aurangzeb destroyed Hindu temples. This belief, whether fact or fiction, has left an indelible mark on the annals of history. The claim that Aurangzeb destroyed thousands of Hindu temples is widely believed. But what does historical evidence tell us? Let's delve into the facts. There's concrete historical evidence supporting the claim that Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of certain Hindu temples. One of the most notable instances is the destruction of the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi. This temple, dedicated to Lord Shiva, was a prominent place of worship for Hindus. However, under the reign of Aurangzeb in the late 17th century, the temple was demolished and a mosque was constructed on its ruins. Another significant episode is the destruction of the Kesava Deo temple in Mathura. This temple was a revered site for the followers of Lord Krishna, but it too fell victim to Aurangzeb's orders and was razed to the ground. A mosque was subsequently built on the temple's remnants, mirroring the fate of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. These instances of temple destruction, among others, were often motivated by political and strategic reasons rather than religious intolerance alone. Yet they did cause a significant shift in the religious landscape of the region. While it's clear that Aurangzeb did order the destruction of some Hindu temples, the claim that he destroyed thousands remains a subject of debate among historians. Despite this, the impact of these actions on the cultural and religious fabric of the time was profound and remains a contentious issue in historical discourse. There are also claims that Aurangzeb not only destroyed but also rebuilt Hindu temples. Is there any truth to this? Let's delve into the historical records and see what they reveal. The narrative that Aurangzeb destroyed Hindu temples is well documented and widely accepted. However, the claim that he also rebuilt some of these temples is not as clear-cut. It seems to be more of a myth than a fact. The evidence supporting this claim is scant at best. We find no concrete historical records or physical evidence indicating that Aurangzeb ordered the reconstruction of any temples he had destroyed. While some anecdotes and stories suggest such acts of restoration, these are not backed by solid archival proof or archaeological findings. Most of these stories seem to be based on conjecture or interpretation, rather than actual documented events. For instance, some argue that Aurangzeb might have permitted the repair or reconstruction of temples if they were accidentally damaged during his campaigns. However, again, there is no definitive historical record supporting this claim. Furthermore, it's important to note that this narrative often serves to soften the image of Aurangzeb as a ruthless destroyer of temples. Yet without firm evidence, it remains a myth, a story that has gained traction over time but lacks historical foundation. In conclusion, while the destruction of Hindu temples by Aurangzeb is well documented, the claim that he also rebuilt these temples lacks substantiating evidence. Despite widespread beliefs, there is no solid evidence to support the claim that Aurangzeb rebuilt any Hindu temples during his reign. Aurangzeb's reign remains a controversial period in Indian history, marked by religious tension and conflict. This enigmatic figure has been the subject of numerous debates, with his actions towards Hindu temples often at the forefront. As we have explored, the evidence suggests that while Aurangzeb did indeed destroy certain Hindu temples, the scale of this destruction is often exaggerated. Furthermore, the claims of his efforts to rebuild these temples are largely unsupported. Aurangzeb's actions have had lasting repercussions, with his legacy largely defined by these contentious actions. His reign is often seen as a period of religious intolerance, but it is important to remember that history is multifaceted and one's actions can be interpreted in a myriad of ways. The imprints of Aurangzeb's rule have been etched into the fabric of Indian history, influencing how he is perceived by future generations. Whether Aurangzeb destroyed thousands of temples or not, his actions have left an indelible mark on the annals of Indian history, shaping how future generations would perceive him.